We're just going to get up close and personal for the afterthoughts. I have, let's see, we're going to start with Sagittarius. So, Sagittarius, the wasp. So, I want to start out by talking about the wasp. And the wasp energy or the wasp spirit, you need to pay attention to them. Wasp, nobody fucks with the wasp. Nobody really is fucking with a wasp. If you see the wasp, you want to kill the nest. You want to get rid of all of them because they're going to take over. And they do. Once they claim a territory, that's their territory. And if you come anywhere near it, they're going to raise up and show you something. They're going to show you what they're working with. So, Sag, I'm going to say that that's you. That's how you operate. My feeling is that if you are having issues in your social circles, then you could be giving off a little bit too much wasp energy, could be being a little territorial. So you want to pay attention to that. But at the same time, wasp energy can be good if you got people coming into your camp that don't mean you any good. You might have to turn up the wasp and let them know that you're overstepping your boundaries. So when we're talking about boundaries and territory, when you talk about territory, you're talking about boundaries. Boundaries have to be retained, have to be maintained in your personal life. So that's that. The other two cards that I was looking at is the curse and the hunter, and I'm looking at the curse because I don't like that card. It's the card in the deck that I feel like they could have left out of it because it stirs up too much angst and anxiety. But if that's what the card does, then let's talk about our angst and let's talk about our anxieties. So, angst comes from deep levels of worry and concern, could come from guilt as well. So, worry and guilt is not something that you want to stay focused on. If I'm not mistaken, I think that was in your West position, and in the West position, it's the past. So, if you are harboring any worry, concern, guilt, or angst about the past, then you'll want to address that. Now, opposite it on the medicine wheel was the hunter. And remember, we talked about being a spiritual hunter, that this was about spiritual hunting. So the hunter in the spirit world is there to locate and to find any kind of discord or dissonance or negativity or any kind of negative spiritual stuff that needs to be healed. So the hunter then becomes the symbol of the one that goes in to heal. So for me, I feel like you need to be the hunter in your own subconscious, the hunter of your own subconscious self, in your own subconscious realm, because there's some things that need to be unearthed. There's some things that need to surface so that they can be healed. Okay. And that's what the hunter does. It goes and it finds it, brings it back. Here it is. And then, whatever the kill is becomes food. And so if we think about the kill in this case, it's the thing, it's the guilt, it's the shame, it's the worry, it's that stuff that has to go. But then the healing that comes from it, from the experience of getting past it, getting through it, then becomes food for thought or a nourishing, something that nourishes you. So there is a process. This stuff is process oriented. So the next thing that I paid attention to was Devil and the Eight of Swords. It sounds like a story. It sounds like a story to me. So we have the devil and the Eight of Swords, and the devil here is the Eight of Swords, and the Eight of Swords is your thoughts. Swords represent the air represents thought processes, thought patterns, ways of thinking, beliefs, all of that ties in there. And so with the devil there, then that's some sabotaging thoughts, self-sabotaging thoughts, blocking thoughts, thoughts that block, thoughts that prevent, thoughts that hinder, thoughts that have you hesitating before it's time to make an important move. It makes you choke, it's a hiccup. That's how it can come off. That's how it ends up happening. But really what it is it's a hiccup in your mind. There's a hesitation in your mind. There's a worry in your mind. There's something attached to all of that stuff that needs to come out. Okay? I feel like I need to go get these cards. So hold on. I'm going to go get the cards. I'll be right back. Okay, so here's your story. Devil and the Eight of Swords. So your thought processes right now, there's a hindrance to it. And guess what else is hindering? It's hindering your 8 magic. 8 is when you can really make shit happen. And so you want to be able to get to this, where this comes from, which goes back to this, which is the curse. It's not a curse. It really isn't a curse. What it seems like a curse. But it's not really a curse. What it is you're cursing yourself for something, or judging yourself for something in your past. And so it seems like, oh, well, I just cannot get unstuck, or, I just have these near misses, however how it turns out for you. It just depends on where you are in your process. But this is really that guilt and the shame and the worry and all the angst. That. So there's your hunter. This is who you are. This is what you need to be doing for all of July. You need to be hunting down where this comes from, where it stems from. I guarantee you it comes from your childhood. It comes from your childhood, or either it came from your childhood, or it was something that robbed you of your innocence. But the thing is that when you become an adult, you are going to get robbed of your innocence. That's a part of becoming an adult. So whatever robbed you of your innocence, you have to forgive it. Now, I ain't talking about whatever processes you need to deal with. If you're dealing with people and stuff, I recommend that you go and sit on the couch. Talk to your therapist about it. And your intuitive. You can talk to your intuitive about it too. But the main thing is that you get to the bottom of it and you start to reach some level of forgiveness around it. And the biggest forgiveness is forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself for being innocent, because you were going to be innocent. And forgiving yourself for having to grow up, because you did. Or forgive yourself for the choices that you made when you did not know any differently. Worrying about the past doesn't make any kind of sense, because it's already done. So if it's about worrying about the past, you should stop worrying about the past, because the past is done. There's nothing you can do about it. It's out of your control, what has already happened. So I'm seeing some forgiveness for you, Sagittarius. Forgiving yourself. That's the first order of business. That's the deal. Forgiving yourself, so you won't have these self-sabotaging thoughts. And these things run deep. These things run deep. Depending on when they started, they can run really deep, and you will be surprised at how your mind is tricking you out of your blessing. So, and you will be blaming it on the devil, and really it's the devil of your own mind, which a lot of times that's what it is. Okay? You do have a legacy of light, which I think is a blessing, considering that you were dealing with some shadow work. This is shadow work. This is going into the shadow. This is going into the recesses. This is going and facing your fears. I had to face my fears just pulling the card out for you because I was like, I don't like this card. I don't like it. I'm mad it's in the deck. I'm angry the card is in the deck when really it's like this is a part of our life experience. It's not that we are cursed, or it's not that we are unlucky, or it's not that somebody out there in the universe hates us. It's not what's going on. Sometimes it's the it's the hobgoblin of our little minds. Okay. All right, so I am recommending for you, Sagittarius, some spiritual cleansing. You might want to do your spiritual baths. Spiritual baths would be good for you during the month of July, just to cleanse and clear out your auric field. So as you are purging, as you are addressing your fears, there might be some tears that are going to come from this. There might be some deep, deep wounds that have to surface. But just get down in the water and cry it out, or breathe it out. Spend time with water. So I recommend that. And I wrote something else down here, but I can't read my own writing. Oh, Reiki. I also recommend Reiki for you. Reiki for emotional healing. Because what Reiki will do is it adjusts your energy field, so that it is not habitually accumulating the same kind of energy that you have been accumulating, because the energy that you've been accumulating is associated with your negative thought patterns. And so, what Reiki will do is start to reconfigure your energetic patterns around your thoughts, so that the goo, the gunk, the excess from doing this can begin to dissipate. It just clears it out and then creates the right environment for the thinking that's not this, right? And it also it'll also kind of open up your third eye chakra and your crown chakra, so that when you are doing your hunter work, you can do it easily. So like if you think about a hunter that's got to go through thick woods that and there's no path, versus the hunter goes in and it knows its path. This like creates the path for you so that you can do your inner work. All right, Sagittarius, that's your afterthoughts for your July reading. This is good stuff. This is good inner work, and you know, I hope it's beneficial to you. Okay. If you want to take a deeper dive, if you know that you need to really dig into this, if you want to do some repatterning exercises, reach out to me. I'm at Kerri, Kerri, at wooingnature.life. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful life.